The views and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host or the management. This podcast should not be considered professional advice, and listeners should consult appropriate professionals for advice tailored to their specific needs.
And welcome to another episode of the UTI podcast. Thank you to all of those that have subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, then subscribe down there. And of course, hit the like button. Even if you don't like the video, just hit the like button. Be a nice guy.
You can lie.
Yeah. I'm Renee, and
I'm Lisa Marie, and this is one of my little brothers.
You know it. Hi, everybody. My name's Cole Crosby. I'm the pride of Rhode Island, a Northeasterner from New Jersey. And I've been running ultras since 2012 and have run some very crazy long multi-day adventures and distances, different types of events, and have developed a love for Dunkin' Donuts. So there we are.
okay.
Wait, I got to go back for a minute. You've been running ultras since 2012, so in diapers.
Yeah, I was 23 when I first ran my first ultra, and I remember just being in a cohort of runners that were mostly in their 40s and 50s, and they're like, "You have so much time, young man. Like you're just figuring things out." And now I'm a grizzled veteran, minus
Yeah.
the grizzled look, right? So
We
it's
can
pretty
change
wild
that.
now, kind of having the amount of 13 years in the sport, more or less, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Wow. Okay.
We didn't talk about that at Across the Years.
Yeah.
Dang it.
No, no, I have a youthful look, but I've been grinding away for quite some time.
Okay. So I'm going to start off with your result. So is this a timed race, or like a fixed time race, or is it a fixed distance race?
For the little sheet and form that I filled out,
Yes. Yeah.
it is a, um, it's not a, fixed time event.
Okay.
It is a distance race,
Okay.
and your time is whatever you get when you get to the finish line.
And what was your time on the finish line?
Um, it took me 92 hours to run this event, and it's actually the furthest event that I've ever partaken in. So,
Okay.
it was very far. It took me just under 4 days to complete.
Okay.
What was your goal time?
Um, the time that I ran was my goal time,
Oh,
more or
okay.
less. I ran faster than what I was hoping for. I didn't really know coming into it. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. At the time, the Cocodona 250 mile was the only race that I had completed that was, 250 miles, and then
Yeah.
now I'm running 100 miles more, and, didn't really know how that would work out, adding all that extra time and distance, and, so I kinda had loose goals, and I ended up running, I think about 5 hours faster than what I was shooting for, and I had just slipped under the old record,
Oh,
um,
wow. Okay.
but the story goes I ran about 100K further than the time that the record was run in. So in other words, I ran the record by a significant amount if you matched it up to the distance, but it's a unique event, so
Okay.
that's why I picked it.
Right. And there had to be a cutoff time. What's the time limit on a race like this?
No, there's no cutoff time,
Oh,
but in
uh,
terms of all the fun awards and festivities, you have, I think, 8 days to make it to the finish line, to enjoy all the fun. Otherwise, you're
Okay.
out there by yourself with your crew and pacers and stuff while everyone's having a good time.
so 192 hours.
Oh, wow.
92.
No, yeah, your time was 92, but 8 days to run, right?
Oh, yeah,
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 so
that's correct.
192. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's a long time.
it is.
Uh, I'm just gonna say that is some freaking impressive score right here.
Yeah.
I mean, your ambition was a 1 because your goal time was way under the 8 days. and you did get like pretty much a 1 out of between 0 and 1 on the aggressiveness. But we know that from you. You don't hold back.
No,
And
I
your
went for it.
performance was zero 0.5, and that's because you hit your goal time. That's just how it is. So that's a very, very impressive score.
You
You
should
say,
know. Do you want to know what my split was through the first 100 miles of the 350
Yes,
I
yard?
would like to
I would
know
like to
that.
know that.
Under 18 hours.
Wow.
Yep.
So
17:46, I think, was my exact split.
okay,
Um,
Wow.
and I did progressively slow down as the race went on, but I stayed pretty strong through 48 hours. I was actually pretty close to what my distance was at across the years. So,
okay,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so very similar, similar kind of like distance in that time frame. I had at the time PR'd at this run that we're talking about. I had PR'd in 200 miles. So initially, I ran across my home state of New Jersey,
yeah,
almost 200 miles, 197 in 44 hours and 45 minutes. And my split through 200 miles at this run that we're talking about was faster than that.
oh wow,
Wow.
Yeah.
okay.
And then I had another, 150 more miles to go.
And that's when life questions came up. We will dive into that.
Yeah.
So what was your travel time on this?
Yeah, it took some time. It was not on the East Coast, so it took some time to get out there. Um, it took me, I think, 6 hours or so.
Okay,
So figure out what mode of transportation we used. Um, but
probably a
it
plane,
definitely took some time to make it out there.
and that's one way only. So 12 hours in total, back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, correct.
that is still pretty impressive. You spent 88%, almost 90% of your time on this race running, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Very good. We always encourage people if they have long travel times, just run slow and make it take longer.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, um, I did enjoy a lot of good snacks during that whole entire run. I mean, it's kinda funny that we're on this call and I have Lunchables here because I ate probably about 20 of these, it seemed like, when I was out there. I was just hungry for anything and everything,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
um, that worked out really well, so, yeah.
All right. So what about the race fee for this?
Yeah, it's a modest, I went back and checked it, it's a modest $289 with taxes and everything all in there, so not bad.
Wow. I
Wow,
want more races like that.
that's
Mhm.
good. And what about travel costs? You said you ate a lot of snacks and stuff,
I
but
did. Travel costs were the most expensive part of it. I can't divulge partly why until we reveal what the event was because part of the travel costs is there's one element about it that's unlike most other races in the whole entire country, maybe the world.
yeah,
And so luckily I did some crowdfunding and the community was able to help fund a portion of this thing.
okay,
um, but that's a huge part of this event is that it's, the cost to execute it and to do so safely
uh-huh,
and, in a fun way, you have to spend some money that way. So that's where
okay,
the entry fee is not as much, but again, the cost to, um, execute the run and, like, have a good time and all that stuff and do it safely, it costs some money for sure.
Sounds
okay.
like an expensive beer run right now.
Yeah, right?
So what was the travel costs in total?
Um What did I put? I think it was like $4,500, something around there.
Oh,
Dang.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I am like,
Okay.
Um, so not cheap by any
No,
means, but, that really is like a total bill when you factor in everything, right?
right.
So, um, yeah, obviously I didn't put the race fee in there, but anything that was like the hotels,
yep.
Yeah,
like your all-in travel, that's what you're looking at.
gotcha. What
Yeah.
about nutrition? Did you buy any nutrition other than your 20 Lunchables?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily, sports nutrition. I've, uh, because of my connections in the running industry, I had some stuff that was, at the time I was sponsored by Untapped maple syrup. So
Mhm.
I had a ton of Untapped maple syrup that was part of the partnership. But the $378 nutrition was really, going to the grocery store and just, like, buying, like, potato chips and, like, Dr. Pepper and, like, those kinds of things, right? I'm just spitballing different ideas. Like the dehydrated dinners that you get from
Mhm.
REI, like
Yeah.
that type of thing. Like, so it was just a whole mixture of different food. And what's
Uh,
pretty crazy about that number actually was that the run itself had the crew is a really elemental and like really pivotal part of this whole experience. And that $378 also reflects some of the food and stuff that the crew also got with that grocery run.
Ah,
um, Obviously, they were buying things outside of that, so I lumped in kind of when we went to the grocery store and everybody bought a bunch of stuff, our bill was $378,
there you go.
wow, okay.
so not bad, honestly, when you think
No.
about it
No,
for
no,
a
really not.
runner and, 3 other crew. So,
Yeah, that's actually cheap. Yeah.
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 So you already disclosed you ran pretty far, so you probably had
Mhm.
to buy some shoes for this race as well.
I would have, but luckily, one of my good friends at the time worked for Hoka, so I ended up getting, 4 free pairs of Hokas that I used for the run.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
And so I didn't have to spend a dime on shoes. Like I'm very privileged and lucky for that. So thank you, Chase, who helped me out. Um, but ultimately that would have definitely have been probably let's just say shoes are so expensive these days. Let's just say $200 a pair, right? So that's $800 roughly.
Yeah.
But you didn't spend any,
Yeah.
so
I didn't spend any. It was
Nope.
oh,
free.
so that's not in your cost.
Well, maybe we'll
No.
get you on essentials.
Yes.
So essentially, it's basically everything you bought for the race that is not covered above.
A
So that would
watch,
be a watch,
tolls.
travel trailer, that rain jacket you forgot at home.
The stuff that makes your wife go, "No."
Yeah, yeah, and that's why you have me making this kinda look because I mean, it was like $1,200 worth of essentials,
Oh,
um, so it was not cheap, it was, just under $1,300, $1,299, and that was because there was a lot of things that broke while we were out doing this thing that needed fixing that I was out running, so I didn't foot that bill initially, but, yeah, it's part of the fun of this whole adventure and story was the crew was dealing with a lot of things while I was just out there having a good old
To
time,
doing
so,
her thing.
doing her
I
thing.
didn't really realize of this stuff until I finished, 92 hours later was like, "Holy crap," and then it was just like, we have these stories that we can go off of for a lifetime, just incredible. It was just one of those moments where you're just like, "How did we even make this happen?" Like, and you look back on it, you're like, "Wow, this was really incredible." It was really just a bunch of people that came together and bonded and really figured things out and accomplished something pretty wild. So,
That's
Wow.
nice.
Well, then I'm ready to dig into some things here.
Well,
yeah.
so you spent 4.4% of your cost was the race fee.
Wow.
But because you had such an amazing result and you had a very efficient travel time, you still got a return on investment or the ROI score of 0.588, which is a, a little over the midpoint. So that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
Well, let's
Uh,
work on that UTI score.
yeah, so let's bring that score even higher.
How
So
many miles was that? I just need to back over here and look again.
there's no
uh,
miles. There's no miles.
346
There's
was
only
how many
time.
I ran.
Okay, I just had to hear that again in 100 or 92 hours. Wow. You need to be setting some more world records. You
So
need to go do more. You're not trying hard enough.
so you're coming back to across the years and do the 6 day, right?
No.
No,
No.
Absolutely not.
I think this year I saw a look on his face that I heard I heard curse words come out of his eyes.
Yep, 48 hours is plenty. Maybe 72. I initially signed up for 72 and then went down to 48. But, no.
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 I draw a line somewhere in the sand, it's 72 for me. I mean, maybe if I'm out there in the mountains in the wilderness somewhere, but, I love across the year so much, but I
Not that
I don't
much.
I don't think I'm doing a service to anybody for me to slug it out for 6 days,
Well,
but maybe that'll change, I don't know. Maybe when I look more grizzly,
I don't know.
um,
You
2
said to
years from now,
me,
maybe we'll check in and
It
see.
could be your retirement race.
I just wanna say
Yeah,
at one
exactly.
point, you said to me this year and the year before, you said, "Lisa Marie, I wanna be you, just like you with my 6th day. So here's a chance," right?
Oh, he's never gonna be grizzly if he's gonna be like you.
And I'll go run the 48 and then we'll see what I can do. And I used to be fast and then I started running 6 days.
You're still fast. Who you kidding?
We'll see. So we sent you a bunch of questions and you have to, rate it 1 to 10 and tell
Mhm.
me why. And I want to start with aid stations.
Yeah, the answer is 10. As
10.
good
Oh,
as it gets.
why?
The reason why is because I can't divulge it perfectly, but, what I can say is that this is an event that offers creativity, and so imagine having your own aid station is the best way to allude to
Okay.
this, and that's why it's a 10 because we made it our own.
Ah,
Ah.
nice.
Is there anything special that happened? Like one thing, like was there a cowbell there? Was there like one thing when you ran up to said aid station, they had it and you were like, yes.
Um, Probably towards the end, we figured out how to, this aid station that we had a speaker system. We were able to, while I was running, activate the speaker system, and so we had Backstreet Boys and, like, fun music playing while I was out there running. And it took us the whole entire trip until the very final day, so we're literally talking about the last 12 hours of this run, we figured this out. Um, so because the speakers were not working. So, yeah, that's about all I can
Okay.
divulge. We'll get into the real specifics of it because it is a huge part of this event, and it would spoil if I go talk in too much detail, it'll
Okay.
spoil why the aid station's a 10.
Favorite Backstreet Boys song?
All
What
of
were you
them.
singing? You had to have been singing one of them was in your head.
Oh man, what
Backstreet's
was
back.
it?
All
Um,
right.
yeah, maybe Larger Than Life. Probably
That's a
one of
good
the
one.
yeah, I
Dare,
think that was
dare,
probably
dare, dare.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we played the whole soundtrack, so I mean, I think Larger Than Life was the first one that came on.
Right on. That's a good
Okay.
one. That I
Yeah.
could keep that in my head. Yep. So, fun factor. I
I gave I
go
gave it an 8, and the reason why it was a 10 when you look back on it, but there are so many crazy things happening with the weather that I made it an 8 because there was a yeah, there was moments where I was really ticked off at Mother Nature and the circumstances. Like, imagine running in the middle of a dust storm, like, literally like a sandstorm that just came out of nowhere,
Okay.
and sleet and pouring rain and wind and crazy heat and, like, literally
you mean
everything minus, like,
Cocodona.
tons of snow. This happened, and, yeah, that's why the fun I had to knock it down 2 points because yes, overall,
Nice.
it was fun in a specific type of way, but at the same time, there's a lot of moments where I was just like, "Why am I doing this? This is torture." But anywho, I
That's
digress.
torture is fun. Did you have any trail markings out there?
I gave it a low score because the nature of this run and event, it's it's actually an unmarked course, though
Oh,
through technology these days, you can figure out there are markings out there, and that's why I gave it a 3 because, you can kind of get your bearings with certain things, landmarks and that kinda stuff, but no, it's not a marked course, so
Oh, that
oh,
sounds
okay.
fun. So, when
mhm.
you are out there on a course and it's marked, how do you like to look at it? Do you like to look up and see it or down? Um,
Yeah. A lot of the markings specifically, when they were really marked were, like, right in your face, so it was, like, little, like trail markers or posts that were out on the trail that were kind of like almost like maybe up to your like waist kind of. So you
Mhm.
could just kind of look ahead and read the little markers and that kind of stuff and kind of figure it out. Um,
Okay.
and then of course I had a GPX file and that was required for the event and all that stuff. And so I was following my phone and my watch and
And
all
running
that jazz
fast.
as fast as I could for sure, dude.
Oh my goodness, I wish I could have seen this. So, you get to judge the weather now, so tell me about Mother Nature and lay it all out. It's your race report.
Yeah. I mean, I gave it a 5 because I think, and this race ultimately has led is a stepping stone and has led to an interest with a race that I'm doing this year, actually.
Okay.
Um, and so the reason why I said the weather was a 5 was because I like the challenge of difficult weather, both hot and cold, and this one just was so unpredictable that it was really a true, villain in the story, in the narrative, because Mother Nature tested myself and our crew all the way to the finish line, and I feel like that's part of the story of overcoming Mother Nature and kind of
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
environment and kind of the distance and everything, and, like, kind of finding myself as an athlete in many ways and defining this kind of business that my wife, ended up creating called Chaos Crewing Company. So this whole running experience that we were a part of kind of culminated into a lot of great things that came out of it, but the weather really sucked, to be honest. And so that's why there I would love to give it a 0, but, um, it was in the middle of the road because, some years it could be great, some years it's all over the place.
Right.
And the year I did it, it was not great, but great story.
Okay.
I like a good weather story, so
Oh, I know.
Mhm.
did you have pacers?
Um, I gave Pacers a 10 because throughout the whole entire run, I had no Pacers, and then my wife was kind enough to pace me into the finish, the last 4 miles of the run. So,
You have to
um,
give her a 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so, it's a moment in time and experience that I'll never forget too, because she was training to run her first marathon, New York City Marathon, and, she was, like, wearing jeans and stuff, and then we're like she made it pulled it upon herself to, like, change into some athletic clothes and, like, help me, like, run pretty fast to the finish line in the last 4 miles when I was really struggling at that point. I was, like, totally out of it. So,
Mm.
No,
definitely a
she's so
10.
nice. I never
She's
see
the
her
best.
harassing you. I mean, I'm just like, "Come on, harass him." So I feel like as the big sister, I have to harass you, and that is why I harass you because she's just,
I
like,
love it.
so nice and patient, and
She is.
she
She
is.
really is she is really the best, and she does know how to crack the whip and apply that gentle pressure when needed. She has her own way of doing it, and I respond really well to it too. Um, but yeah, she has a very unique a way about how she kind of coaches me and kind of manages, my emotions and, really helping to, really define and set up a great outcome.
Right.
So I would definitely would not be the athlete I am without her, um, kinda being in my corner and helping get me to the finish line like Cowboy 200, for example, where, if she wasn't not there, I probably would have ended up in the hospital, to be honest, so,
Wow.
yeah.
I think all of us wanted to go to the hospital at the Cowboy 200.
Yeah, it's a tough one, it's a tough one.
So, your crew, how would you rate them?
Absolute 10. Um, reason being was not only obviously my wife was the crew chief, Ashley, but we had, 2 of our other friends who had never crewed, a running event ever in their life. They would say, "No, I'm not a runner," but they wanted a fun adventure and, like, a little vacation and kinda, like, just an opportunity to kind of, like, unplug and kind of, like, just focus on and get to see a little bit of, like, what this life that my wife and myself have kind of carved out, and, they brought so much value to the whole entire experience and how quickly they were able to step up and really, like, make a massive impact.
Mhm.
They're the winners of this story, and ultimately, the story is really about the crew and how Chaos Crewing Company became its inception and start was at the conclusion of this event. So crew is a 10, probably plus plus plus.
And if
Okay.
any
It
of them
was
wanna
it was the
dispute
highlight.
that, they can come on and dispute.
No, they would say the same. They would be like, "No, it was." I mean, they did unbelievable work. Um,
Well, we don't
so
want to
yeah, it
know
was.
the crew's score of themselves. We want to know what score they're gonna give their runner.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
they give me a great score. They give me maybe an 8. They give me an 8
An
because
8.
they know I could have gone faster. So
I'm starting
Okay.
to believe that too. No.
They're not gonna give you a 5 and saying, "He was so whiny all the time."
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Your wife will come on and go, "Oh, you know what? He was a 3. I had to give him that look."
No, I was better than that, I promise. I was in good spirits for a lot. I was in good spirits for a lot of it. There was one defining moment where I was definitely we were all kind of, um, spread thin, I would say. But besides that, but we turned it all around completely, full 360, like, into, like, just all of us laughing and having an amazing time, and then that's when the Backstreet Boys moment came on and all of that. So it was like it was a full circle moment for sure.
Right
Uh,
on. So,
Yeah.
did you get any blisters or chafing or things that we should talk about? Not talk about
Yeah,
or talk about?
I don't remember anything being, like, super bad, and I don't think my feet actually got a lot of blisters, but, given the environment that I was in and just the distance and, like, um, other things, I I'm sure that I had some type of chafing and stuff, but I just don't remember it, so I gave it a 5 because obviously it wasn't such a factor where I was like, "It's a 10, it was all this stuff." So yeah, I put it in the middle of the road because I probably had something, but it wasn't that big of a deal, I guess.
So, what
okay.
about sunburn or something?
Um, a little bit. I did get my shins did start to burn a little bit on the final day. Um, part of where we were on the course, it just the temperature went from, at nighttime, like, in the 30s, 40 degrees all the way up to about almost 90. So, yeah, that was kind of a shock to the system, but I did okay. I wasn't badly sunburned, but I was definitely there was moments where I was burning a little bit.
Like 1,000 fire ants hitting those shins, yeah.
It did feel like that,
It
yeah,
did.
yeah.
So, how about any gut issues?
Um, never threw up at all. I put it a 5 again because similar to the blisters, there was definitely moments where I'm like, "Oh, I don't my stomach, I'm not feeling so good," but they didn't last long and they weren't really that memorable, so
Okay.
5 too.
Do you get palate fatigue at all at these races?
Um, I can, honestly, again, props to the crew because they did such a good job of, like, cooking, like, little homemade meals and, like, making things different enough to where, like, I really didn't feel like I was getting a lot of palate fatigue. There was a little bit towards the very, very, very end, but at that point, I was just like, "Alright, we're so close to being done, like, I'm less than 10 miles away, like, just suck it up, eat a cookie, and just
Yeah.
go."
Yeah, 'cause,
Um,
we run those types of distances, and I know that when I hit 200, I'm just like, I can see it, I can feel it, I'm going to have palate fatigue. But I get it
yeah,
with water. I just don't want any more water.
yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, it did pretty good overall.
Yeah.
So how about the facilities, the lavatory, the porta potties? Were they clean?
Yeah.
Did you just go outside, or is it just you had to go to was it a loop where you saw porta potties every time?
No.
No.
So this is where again part of this story, which is super unique. Um, the the aid station was also where the porta potties were, which is it makes sense. But this one again, like we had our own aid station. We also had our own porta potty bathroom services, as well as local ones that you could find in the towns and stuff.
Okay.
Um, but I rate in terms of having lavatory issues, I rated it higher just because um, in the beginning of the whole entire run, I kinda had some bathroom problems, so I ended up using our bathroom a lot. I didn't tell anybody about it because I didn't want it, 1, to get in my head and also to get in their head too.
Yeah.
So I didn't bring it up until actually after the whole entire run I completed and we're, like, all hanging out and stuff. But the first, like, 8 hours of the 92, I used the bathroom probably, like, 20 times and
Wow.
Wow, okay.
flushed things out of my system, and then I kind of normalized, and then I went to the bathroom, but it wasn't I didn't have any, like, missed like, problems or anything. So, that's why I rated it a 7.
Okay.
That's not bad. I mean, getting it over with out in the beginning. Yep. So, how about any trail naps or falls? Did you sleep on the trail? Did you fall? Of course you
Nope.
didn't.
Nope.
Of
No
course.
falling and no trail naps.
Not one?
I did sleep in the aid station that we had, and the strategy of sleeping was kind of a cool new thing. It worked out really well. I with sleeping and everything, my pace, I average, I think, like 16 minutes a mile. Um, and because of the sleeping that I did, and that's with, like, the sleep factored in, right? So, like, my
Yeah.
moving pace was anywhere between I think I average 11-minute mile moving pace for the whole 346 miles.
Wow.
Um,
I do wanna
so,
be
yeah,
you.
I really didn't run. I mean, besides going up some mountains and stuff, I didn't go any slower than maybe a 15-minute mile the whole entire time
Wow.
Wow,
if I was in motion.
Wow.
that's pretty good.
So, yeah.
So I
Um,
wasn't lying to you, across the years when I said I wanted to be you in my next life, but still female.
eh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, you have to be
Freaky
very
Friday, right?
specific. Be
Yes,
very
exactly.
specific.
So, did you, have any animal sightings? Snakes,
Um,
lizards,
nope,
spiders,
No?
nope. No, that's what's
tarantulas?
crazy about this whole experience is that you would think that I would have seen things. I probably could have actually, now when I think about it, probably added more higher value to the score, like maybe a 1 or 2, because there was I wouldn't call it, uh, maybe like wildlife per se, but there were people's dogs that were out on the course. The dogs didn't there's a lot of barking. They didn't really there was one moment where, like, a bunch of somebody's dogs, like, got out of their yard and, like, ran across the road right in front of me that spooked my crew, and I just didn't care, and the dogs did not care. They didn't even acknowledge me, so maybe I could bump that up to, like, a 1 or 2, but honestly, I thought about wildlife, which you would have thought, like, "Oh, wild snakes or any of this stuff," and I
Yeah.
didn't see anything.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
So
So,
if you
very
felt like
unique.
those dogs were, like, could have been wild, then we can rate it. If not, we'll just leave it as
Just leave it
blank.
blank.
Yeah.
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 So, mental state, did those dogs, like, cause a mental state? No.
No, no.
No.
No?
Um, I would say overall, this race was something where I feel like I've always had a fairly strong mental like maybe when I first got into ultras, I was not the best mentally in terms of overall strength and resiliency. And over the years, I've developed, I think, like I've sharpened that tool, honed that craft,
Yeah.
Mhm.
to where now I think mentally I'm pretty strong, and that's one of my stronger like qualities or characteristics. I rated it a 6 in terms of my mental state, and the reason why I did that was, um, really because there's a few because of mother nature, it created a lot of moments of adversity and being challenged, and constantly had to kind of really, like, really ask myself, like, "Who am I? Who do I wanna become? How is this experience gonna really shape kinda my perspective moving forward?" And, I had moments of weakness highlighted by moments of real sheer strength. So because of that tug of war, I kind of put it in the middle. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
though how I came out of the experience, it was a 10 for sure. But
Right.
during it, I was definitely kind of like dealing with my demons.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that
Yep.
is actually is a fun factor at times too, right?
Yeah.
How about hallucinations? Please say you had No,
Oh,
you
Zero,
slept too much. You know that, right? You s
probably.
Yeah.
I I averaged what was it? So every 24 hours I wanted to make sure I got um 2 hours of sleep. The way I did that was we took my aid station time, and if I took too long at an aid station, we would subtract it from that 2 hours.
Mhm.
So I think overall I slept maybe an hour and a half an hour and a half to 2 hours, um, kind of like every 24 hours kind of thing.
Okay.
So, about an hour or so every 12 hours, which worked out pretty well. I did end up sleeping more at certain points because there was weather that had blown through, and we were just like really, there was no point for me to be outside. It was like torrential rain, and we were just like
Yeah.
trying to evaluate whether I could still continue on or not. So I ended up sleeping an extra 2.5 hours because,
That was your
what else
hallucination time right there.
what else are you gonna do when it's pouring rain, like, and it's just
Yeah.
not, and where I was on the course was just not, it could have easily flood, and so we decided to, like, made it a game time decision to stick it out.
Right.
Um, and everything ended up working out really great, and plus I felt even more well rested, and funny enough, I have to go into this because I woke up from that nap and was like, "Alright, the course is not flooded, let's go," and I ended up making a wrong turn right out of the gates that put me, and that's what's funny about this story is that the actual route was 341 miles, well, I did 346, so I got some bonus miles, and part of that happened in this stretch where literally I'm wide awake, and I made a wrong turn and ended up going an extra mile out of the way to course correct. So, shame on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were just in having the time of your life. I could just see you smiling along
I
and
was.
going, "Oh, wait, what?" So, do you feel like you were prepared for this race at all?
Um, yes and no, because I think that the nature of this event is that part of it is the mystery of it. One, how you get into it, and then also kind of like how what you end up experiencing. Like, there's not a lot on the internet
Mm.
about it, and what there is, there's like some films, documentaries, but it's not. It's kind of this underground kind of experience, and so it's hard to really know what you're getting yourself into until you're actually thrown into it, and you're like, "Oh, crap, okay." So that's why I gave it a 5 was because I felt prepared, but then once you're in the middle of it, you're like, "Oh, okay, this
Yep,
is a little bit different than I expected, but I'm still prepared. We still got this." So that
right.
was kind of the nature of the experience.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think anyone could ever go into any race fully prepared. You're like, "Oh my god, what did I
Mhm.
do?"
Yeah.
But I think it's experience after the race that goes into the next race but
Yeah.
still, then you go there and you're like, "Oh, I'm not prepared."
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, when you signed up for this race,
Or did they?
they they gave you a race manual of some sort, right? A
Mhm,
runner's manual. So,
mhm.
how was the race versus the description? Did the RDs lie, fib, embellish? They all
There was
do.
there was one embellishment part, and that was at the crux of where I was really just like we were all at our lowest point mentally and maybe physically too for me, and probably for the crew too. They were sleepy. Um, I still give it a 10 because, I d I ran a prescribed route, and where, my other competitors do their own routes. So, because I ran a prescribed route, it was the where the turn at what point and all that stuff was all laid out on a manual. Um, and so we kind of just had to follow that, and it was pretty good for the most part. There was just maybe one little minor like omission that was kind of rattled me at the time. So really, I could maybe probably bump that to a 9, but when I really look back on this experience, like, it was so transformational that I have to give it a 10 just because, um, it's part of the essence of the event is it's very this, like, free flowing, creative kind of like it's where runners come to test themselves, but also, like, to really figure out more about who they are as a person and where they fit in terms of, like, whether you wanna think about it in terms of the universe or, like, how
Huh.
you wanna, communicate with other people, and, like, it's a really a unique it's almost an artistic experience, it's really cool.
I
Um,
wanna do
and
this,
so that's
whatever
why
it
I gave it a
is.
10, honestly, because collectively, the whole experience, regardless of a few little things, like, was super impactful in a positive way.
So, you grew up on this race?
No,
No? You didn't become a
no.
man, this wasn't a man maker.
Oh, grew up like that way. Yeah, in some sense, yes. I think it helped frame my mindset, or like sharpen my blade a little bit more in terms of like what I want to focus on as an athlete. I think that it
Okay.
reaffirmed some things. Because I had only run 2 multi-day events before this event. So I'd run across New Jersey as an FKT and then ran Cocodona 250 and then hopped into this thing.
So this
Right.
is recent.
2020 2023.
Okay.
Okay.
I still don't know what it is. I thought might be young. Yeah.
No, you don't know what
I
it
don't know
is.
what it is. I'm gonna make up
I
something
have
though.
no clue.
So when you got there, you probably got a bag full of something, a T-shirt or something,
Mhm.
and then you got a medal. How would you rate that, and what was in the bag? And without showing the medal, or did you get a medal, or is it your experience was like a
Ah,
smack on the butt saying you completed it?
no.
No.
Um, this one, you do not get a buckle. You do get a, let's call it a medal. It's not a medal, but it's the same type of thing. It's very reminiscent. It's an object that you find in the finish line location, so it's very symbolic.
Uh-huh.
I can't describe what it is because it would potentially give it away. When you first sign up for the race and you go into like the packet pickup and like the hangout kind of social that they have tons of great sponsors that give you tons of swag. I had Morton energy gels to last me for like 6 months. You got a Theragun massage gun that we still use, a mini one for like travel. Amazing. We used that the whole entire run. Um, I mean, like tons of cool like bandanas and like sunglasses
Wow.
and like the swag bag was very impressive. Um, the reason why I gave it a 7 was because if the finish line thing the prize that they give you was like a buckle or like something a little bit more grander, it would be a 10. But because you get something that's a little bit smaller, still really cool and unique, I had to dock a few points. But
Yeah.
overall, it's a very for the $289 entry fee, you're getting way more than like pretty much that entry fee is covered by the amount of swag that you get.
Wow.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wanna do this race, whatever it is.
Okay, let's
I've had 100 ideas what I thought it was. Before we
okay.
talk about if you recommend it, I first thought it was Vol State, but then I
Uh,
realized it wasn't. Um, and I feel like I should know this, but I don't. So I feel like you ran across a state
it
or a big
sounds like
loop.
something Les would do.
Yeah. It does sound like something Lass would do.
It does have that kind of vibe, doesn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I mean, you're warm in the sense that it's in a similar type of format. It's kinda like a Vol State, it's kinda like that type of stuff. A Journey Run, yeah, it's kinda
Yeah.
in that family.
Yeah. And I know a lot of journey runs, but not ones that is that far. And of course, whatever it is you telling me, I'm going to go sign up. I don't
Well,
know
you
what
don't know how to sign up
I don't
because
know
there's
how
not
to sign
there's
up,
not a
but you're
lot
gonna
about
tell
it.
I
me.
know how, I know how.
So,
Uh,
I don't know what it is, it's not Ball State, so what is it?
You ready for the grand reveal?
yeah.
Yes.
Alright, well, let me grab this little picture here, because for anyone that's gonna be watching this stuff, so this is me probably 280 miles into this run.
You look
Okay.
clean.
Um, the run is something called the Speed Project.
Never have heard of it.
Yeah, so it's an underground event. It started as a relay. It's now in its 14th year, maybe, and they've
Wow.
expanded beyond this initial race, which I was a part of in its 10-year anniversary. So it started as a relay again, really from LA to Vegas. So the idea was that runners congregate at the Santa Monica Pier, and with their crews, they all run out and they, tag team like as a relay of six people pretty much. And it started at with 4 men, 2 women, so they have different divisions like um, kind of like they call it the OG team, which
Uh-huh.
was kind of like how it all started. And you run route that they came up with, 341 miles from Santa Monica Pier to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign, and you run through the middle of the Mojave Desert, which touches the entrance of pretty much Death Valley and
Yeah.
the Badwater 135 race course. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, so I signed up for this event. I was hanging out with some friends in an Airbnb on the eve of the Boston Marathon, and I had a friend that said, "Hey, I know a guy that knows somebody that has
That's
run
what
this race, and we could probably get you in." So similar, it's great you bring up a Laz point because um, in order to get into this race, you have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows the race director to reach out and get an invitation, and then you fill out the application, and then it's just like a last thing. They accept you or don't accept you or
Yeah.
however they go about that stuff, and then you begin your preparation for the speed project. And what's really cool is that so out of that first 10 years, I think they've 6 years as a relay only, and then they
Okay.
opened it up to solo runners, so single runners running this whole entire route. um, the event evolved as well from something called the OG route, which is the 341-mile route that is in the booklet, that is a prescribed route that people can run. It's definitely a harder route in terms of distance, and you go through Death Valley or go through the park, whereas people also have come up with their own make your own, plan your own adventure, make your own fastest route. And the fastest route currently is somewhere around 286, 289 miles, something around there.
Oh, okay.
People talk about a part of the course called the power line section where they're running on a ATV trail. Guess what? The OG route goes on ATV trails as well, but the power line section is brutal because cars get stranded out there because it's just like super loose sand and stuff. So people bring um, like mountain bikes or like mopeds or whatever decided makes sense to help crew their runner and that kind of stuff. Um, the run itself is it's really cool because it reminds me of, like, a whole group of, like, people that wear Satisfy clothing, kind of, like, they're very, like, cool tattoos and, like, artsy and, like, people from all over the world and, like, different languages and cultures, and, like, they're all super cool, and here I am, like, this stuffy, like, New Jersey guy that's, like, my picture, I was wearing like, a polo shirt, and it's just, like, I felt so out of place, but yet it's such a cool community because they make you feel like they understand that each person brings a unique perspective and brings so much
Right.
value, and running is the vehicle of which your self-expression comes out. And so um, I think the beauty of this type of event is that it's more of an artistic experience about
Yeah.
you yourself in relation with your crew and your team, and fighting through this crazy environment that is the Mojave Desert, which is kind of like from a Breaking Bad TV show scene.
Yep.
Um, and at the heart of Badwater, Death Valley, one of the hottest, harshest environments on the planet. So that's the speed project.
Okay.
You know, I'm proud to say I was the first single solo runner to complete the OG route. So that's one reason why I chose to do that was because there's only one first, and it's cool that so far now there's been two other people that have completed the OG route solo, which is really we're building a little like club in a sense, which I really like.
Yeah.
And it's fun to say, like, people can break my time or do all that stuff. Records are meant to be broken, but to say
Mhm.
that you're the first person, like, to do something, that's never gonna get taken away. So,
That's right.
that's why I did that event, was because that was the opportunity to hopefully, like, build that legacy, and it was such a wild event, like, I mean, it taught me so much. It also allowed for me personally to be like, "Oh, like, I'm capable of so much more than what I thought." Like,
Yeah.
yes, 250 miles, I was like, "Okay, I think there's still more there." And almost 350 miles, I'm like, "Okay, there's still more there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, just a lesson in life to all of us is that, I have like you saw, during, across the years, I worked with a local hat company in Boston, and I have my own little slogan I created, "Distance is just a number," because
Mhm.
to me, um, when it can sound defeating when you're like, "Oh my gosh, I've only gone 20 miles and I have 320 some odd miles left to go.
Yeah.
I feel like crap. How am I ever gonna be able to complete this?" And what you're saying is mentally you're throwing in the towel already, saying
Yeah.
the number is greater than what you are. And the truth of the story is that if you look at the numbers not being intimidating and say, "Hey, this is just the culmination of all the body of work that I'm putting forward in this effort," you're gonna get there sooner than later. Like, you just chip away at it, and those numbers are gonna add up, and eventually, 1 becomes 200, becomes 346. So,
Yeah.
that's the greatest lesson that I learned from this whole experience, and just how much, crew and really great people that are dedicated to that goal can be a performance enhancing element, the same way that having your nutrition, having your sweat rate figured out, and having a great coach prescribing great training and all this stuff can be, really performative in terms of, helping you elevate yourself. I feel like the crew can equally be just that as well, and then some. Like, they're the safety net that can prevent you from just, like, avoiding complete disaster.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's what the Speed Project in many ways is all about. Um, it's a absolutely wild, crazy experience. And the reason why I talk about it too is, our aid station was an RV, a Class A RV, rented by El
Nice.
Monte RVs. And thank you to all those out there that helped donate to the GoFundMe to contribute to paying for that RV, because they're not cheap. And we had a lot of crazy things happen. We got stuck in a sand bank in the middle of Death Valley. We had 70-mile-an-hour gusts that blew the door off the hinges. We had a broken coffee pot. We had all the ladies were out driving, and one of the mirrors got a little bit of a crack in it because they were taking a video of it, and taking video of me, and then they, like, hit a tree branch that was overhanging.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness.
and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. There was tons of little things. Ultimately, like, the RV was still, it looked fine. There was just, like, a lot of little things again. The crew did an amazing job of troubleshooting, and at the end of the day, we got our deposit back, and El Monte RVs is one of the best RV companies on the planet, so thank you to them. Um, but that's why it's a big expense, the renting the
Right.
RV,
Yeah.
um, and having to drive it and have it to, you leave it in, Las Vegas. So you drive it from LA, drop it off in Las Vegas. El Monte RVs, they've been doing that with the Speed Project for, 13, 14 years now, so they know what's up.
They
Um,
know what they're getting their vehicles into.
they know what they're getting themselves into, but, like, they're all for it, and, it's allowed for this event to keep going, because this is an underground event, meaning that it's an event, but not an event, right? So,
Right.
like, you're not supposed to run on, major interstates, highways, or anything like that. It's against the law. That's full they stress that big time.
Yeah.
This is almost like an FKT in a way. It's a culmination of a grouping of people coming together to do something really cool. But it's also, like, at your own risk and stuff too.
Right.
Obviously, they have a lot of protocols. Like, if something bad happens, like, they outline steps of what to do and all that type of stuff, and, like, who to call, and, like, there's, like, like, they do a great job. But obviously it's not a sanctioned event, so it's different.
Right.
So that's why I call it an underground experience. Now it's grown immensely. Again, they have events in the, Atacama Desert in Chile. They have one during the week of UTMB up in the French Alps. They run from the mountains down to the ocean near Nice, I believe. And, and I think they continue to keep expanding. There's another underground group also that is doing a run from Salt Lake City, I think, to Las Vegas, and it's
Okay.
longer. I think it's like 470 miles or something like
Ooh.
that. So this type of event, similar to, like, what Laz has done with many of his formats,
Yeah.
has inspired other people to do similar types of things. So there you go. Speed Project. It's happening this March, actually. So, in about a month or so,
Are you
buckle up
doing it?
for. No,
No.
No.
But I know that
nope.
did somebody tell me correctly that I know that you are going to the desert this summer?
Yeah, so I got into Badwater, and that's also the thing I was alluding to, was that, I had always had Badwater on the bucket list.
Mhm.
I I kind of went through imposter syndrome, being like, I don't know if I'm really truly ready for this. They have this whole application process. It's like it's one of those epic
Yeah.
events, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to just show up and, like, become a roasted toasted marshmallow. So I had a lot of respect for it. I took my time building my resume, and, like, going about it the right way. And really, the running in the Speed Project, running not on the course, but near the course. Um, I mean, I spent 100 and maybe, like, 30 miles or so within the park boundary.
Yeah.
So the last, like, at least day and a half, it seemed like, maybe yeah, last day and a half. And so it was just such a incredible environment, such incredible experience, and, like, I don't know, there's something magnetic about what however it is out there, just, like, it's hard to describe, it's like being on a different planet. Just the hostility of it, but also the tranquility of it. Um, and that I think that running the speed project really opened my eyes to being like, "Huh, I think I might actually want to run Badwater."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then here we are. So now I get to experience that in full, at the end of the July this year. So really excited to get out there and experience it for all its glory and all of its extreme heat. So bring it
Yeah.
on.
I'll be cheering you
From
on,
the
you know
from the
that.
Thank
You'll
you.
be hearing me from wherever I'm at screaming.
from the
So,
bottom to the top.
I do have a question. Something's bothering me about your race. One question, and I know you well enough
Only one?
well, I have a lot of questions, but I know you well enough to know that you think about aliens. So you're
Mm,
out there and no aliens, nothing moving in the sky, nothing, no
no,
earthquakes, no
no, no,
no Musk train going in the sky, no?
Okay, so
Wow.
no.
so I
I'm
have a
It
sorry.
question.
was It was, I kept looking to see if there's eyeballs out there in the desert, didn't see anything,
Uh,
nothing weird in the sky. I mean, we did see a rainbow. There was, like, a lot of thunderstorms that came through Death Valley, and then we got this beautiful, like, actually where this picture was kind of framed was the sun was starting to go down, and it was like this there's no cars, we hadn't seen a single car out on the road for, like, 8 hours, and, the rainbow shows up, and it was just like it was probably one of the highlights of the whole entire event because it was just us out there,
right,
and
Yeah.
it really was just this, like it just really hit things, brought it back to home of being like, "Wow, like, this is why we're doing this, and this is why this experience is so special because how many opportunities you get to be doing something crazy that, like, people don't totally know what's going on right now at the moment, and you're kind of like, you know, bad cell reception, you're just kinda out there, and, yeah, it was just such a wild incredible moment and experience.
Well, I have
interesting.
question number 2. You left Santa Monica Pier, so I know that they do
Mhm,
across the country that it's where they leave, where they show up at some
mhm.
point. So, you were actually in the city for a little bit. You were doing urban ultra running for a while. How was that for you, being from a
Yeah,
small state?
great question. It was, because the run starts at 4 in the morning,
Ah.
it wasn't too bad, there maybe was a few strip clubs that you run by at one point that you had some there was some a few there's one that had, like, it's like a piggly something place, and there's a few stragglers that were a little bit suspect, um, but honestly, overall, running through Los Angeles, it was pretty calm. As the morning picked up, it does the race for the solo runners does start on Monday, so
Mhm.
there was traffic.
Mm,
You're fine because 'cause you're kind of on sidewalks at that point. I was kinda, like, already leaving I was, like, already, like, going through the Hollywood Hills and all that kinda stuff.
Okay.
yeah,
Um, but there definitely was some traffic and, like, things to kind of pay attention to.
yeah,
Um, but I feel like you move through Los Angeles quickly. Like, I felt like we were kind of by once you're, like, 50K into this thing, you're almost kind of really out of, like, the real hustle and bustle of Los Angeles, and you're kind of
Mm.
really
yeah,
into the suburbs, and then you're moving into, um this, like, city that's, like, kind of, like, on the other side of a river, and you're running on this, like, river gorge where you're surrounded by green, lush hills, like, almost like the Marin headlands. You're, like, surrounded by these little Marin headlands, like, green, lush hills all around you. There's a beautiful river that, like, you can tell people are going, like, water rafting, like, down below, and it's just, like, this beautiful two-lane road, and it's just, like, you and, like at that point, there's actually other runners because the speed project is so cool because literally everybody is like, "Oh, Marcus, I go." Everyone leaves, and then everyone just goes different directions.
oh,
Wow.
yeah, because
Like, a
again,
lot of
makes up
people
their own route.
because unless you're doing the OG route, which I was the only one that did it that year, everybody else was going their own route. And
Yeah,
so, like, some people are following each other, but for the most part, people are all just like, it's wild. Like, people are just going in different directions, and cross into it on a cross street and then run with each other for a second and like make a right turn and like it just and funny enough, through the majority of the run, like there was moments where, especially in the middle portion, where I didn't see another single runner at all, and then all of a sudden I would hear like the first 160 miles. There was one point where we were getting to the halfway point, and I ended up running into a few other runners that were entering into the town, but I had already run like 20, 30 miles more than them at that point, based on the route that they
Yeah.
had done versus the route that I had done. And it just so happened that we kind of like connected, and then I kind of went one way and they went another way. But it was like things like that where
Wow.
you're just like blown away. We're like, oh my gosh, you guys did this. Oh, and then like, all right, see ya. I'm going this way, like that kind of thing. And then for the
Wow.
most part, and then towards the end of it, for the most part, I was by like once I hit Death Valley, because the other routes do go below it, go south of it, and we go up and over. Um, there was not a single runner. It was just myself and the crew and anyone else that was driving through that park that day.
Wow.
Wow. So
Yeah.
I have a question. So you're running towards Las Vegas,
Mhm.
and I know you can see the lights of Vegas
Yeah.
way, way, way out. How did you deal mentally saying, "I know that light out there is where my finish line is,
Yeah.
and
Um,
I'm gonna look at that for the next 2 days."
yeah. So here's what's wild is that I couldn't really see I didn't couldn't really because of the way the mountains were and where you're coming through the mountain passes, coming out of Death Valley in that whole area. Um, I could see snow-capped mountains in the distance, and they looked
Mhm.
so far away, and I'm like, "Huh, yeah, yeah, right, if I'm gonna run to those." Um, and this is all on the last day, and that section going through, like, crossing from California into Nevada, it was so cool. It was like it was like the Serengeti. It was like you're up, at these high points, and you're
Mhm.
Yeah.
just see the desert down below, and you got mountains everywhere. It was just like and the sun was out, and it was just like the weather was perfect at the time. It was beautiful. Um, and, I couldn't see Las Vegas. Um, I made it so what's crazy about the OG route is that it really is a graduate level, route because it just progressively gets harder and harder and harder as you go. You literally go from these mountains and then you gradually descend down to below sea level. So
Mhm.
you're not at the lowest point in the country, but you're at one of the lowest points. You're like at minus like 65 feet below sea level. And
Wow.
then you have 13 miles to go all the way up to 6,000 feet. And it's all one big climb going through a mountain pass, and when I made it to the top of the mountain pass, it was just starting to get dark, and I could see the finish line, I could see the "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign and all the lights of the city down below, and there's actually a race in Las Vegas as a marathon where people start up there and then run down to the city, so I pretty much had a marathon, 24
Okay.
miles, I think is exactly what I had to go, and, yeah, it was a surreal moment experience of being like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this." But at the time, I was also tied for the lead overall, for the solo runners, and, it was like, "Am I gonna do it?" Like, I know what they're running, and they're running in a flat route, straight to the finish line, and I'm having to go screaming down a mountain pretty much, and I already have, like, 320 something miles on my legs, you know?
And your legs are
Um,
probably feeling that about that point. They're having a
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, they were feeling it. It was so steep in the beginning though that I blew past my crew. I told them drive 6 miles ahead, and I told them drive another 6 miles because I was going so fast. I was going like 8-minute mile pace, maybe
Oh, wow.
7:40. And I just couldn't slow down because it was so steep.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a pinball on a pinball machine going ricocheting down the mountain. And then eventually it started to flatten out, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, that was bad."
Yeah.
And, um and then I struggled until I saw my crew again, and we kinda, like, took a moment to, like, refuel a little bit, kind of have a pep talk, and then I kept going.
And your
Um,
legs
Is that
probably
what
had a pep talk as
that's what we're
well.
calling it now. We're
yeah,
calling it a pep
A
talk.
pep
yeah, it was quite the finish, quite the finish. And I only was off the lead by about, I think under 2 hours. I think it was, like, maybe, like, 2.5 hours or something in total.
Wow.
So it was really close.
Shoulda ran faster.
Yeah, I know, right? I should have.
That was a long nap you took.
Yeah, it was, exactly.
You just should have put on just a bag over your head and just ran in the rain.
I know, I know.
Would you ever do this race again?
I don't know. I've told people many times that I would do it as a relay.
Mhm.
So if
Uh-huh.
someone wanted me to be a part of a relay team, I would say, "Yeah, let's go. I'm all for it." Um, I feel pretty good about my solo run, and accomplished kinda like what I wanted to accomplish, so
Right.
maybe I would probably do one of their other events, maybe the one in the Atacama Desert in Chile or
Mm,
the one in France or some of those ones.
yeah.
But I feel like I wrote my story pretty well in the LA to, L or the yeah, LA to LV adventure, and, yeah, I'm at peace with how it all went.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna suggest a urban ultra for you in Singapore. Go do that. We did
Okay,
that. Yeah. Go do that.
that sounds good. I'll have to pick your brain, more about it.
So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you recommend this race?
Um, for so I pause because I say, it definitely takes the right person, I think. You have to really want it for one,
Right.
and wanna go through the steps to get into it and be a part of things and really understand kind of it's not like a regular race by any
No.
means, and so, like,
It's
really understanding that in advance of signing up, I think is really important, and also knowing kind of, like, the culture and the family that you're stepping into is really important too, because it's unlike anything that I've ever done,
right.
and probably will ever do too. It was super cool, like, it was
Yeah.
just so different. Um and different in a great way. Like, it's really beautiful kind of what they've created, and it all just started as, like, a weekend like a bet that you had in a bar kind of thing, like, a bunch of friends got together one weekend and said, "Hey, we've been running all around Los Angeles. How do we get to Las Vegas? Can this be done?" And they figured it out, and they did it, and now it's just, like now it's a thing. It's a global phenomenon kind of. So really, really cool. But yeah, I would say for those that are willing to take the steps to get there, get to the starting line, it's definitely a 10.
Okay.
And I think the reason behind that is it's more of what you're going to gain from the experience and what your crew and like the relationships that are going to deepen from the experience. It's a very raw experience, I would say, in terms of like it'll test you in ways that you never imagined, different from any other ultra that I've ever done. Um, but at the same time, like it's the race itself or the event doesn't really give you it gives you enough, but it doesn't give you a lot in terms of the overall structure per se.
Right.
So for someone that really needs to know, like, oh, I'm so and so many miles away from the checkpoint, and all that stuff, you're not going to get that. There's no hand holding on this thing. It very much is kind of almost like a do at your own risk in a sense. There are some again, it's organized enough where there's protections in place, but it's yeah, you got to be yeah, you got to it's a graduate level event. You got to be
Right.
showing up ready to um yeah, to not mess around and
To
get to
work.
business.
You're
Mhm.
going to work, it
Right.
sounds like.
And
Exactly.
you have to take care of all your logistics as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a huge part of it, and they
Yeah.
they really vet you pretty heavily of, like, "Let me see the GPX file, let me figure out kind of, you know, get me the crew people, like, we need to really fit." They really wanna dial those things down,
Yeah.
to make sure that you mean business because, some of that rides on, like, whether they're gonna be able to host this type of thing, the next year and so on.
Right.
Do you wear any kind of monitor, so that they can see that for their own peace of mind? Or did you
Yeah,
wear it for your
so
crew or
yeah, so I don't know if it's probably changed from when I, had run it, but initially they gave you, like, a little, like, Apple tile kind of thing,
Yeah.
and, like, um, then we also, like, through, like, Google Maps, like, you provided, like, that a certain their race command phone number and, like, so they could see your location or whatever, It wasn't perfect, obviously, because you're kind of, like, out there in the sticks, so
Yeah.
funny
There's
enough
no
funny
signal.
enough for me is, like, the story goes is that I was leading the race overall for the solo runners all the way up until the very end, but nobody knew about it because I was the only one out doing my own thing, and my tracker wasn't really populating properly, and I couldn't do they do daily check-ins, and I just couldn't check in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was kind of I was kind of a mystery, and then all of a sudden, it was like the final morning of the thing, it was like, we go live, and they're like, "Breaking news! Cole Crosby's in the lead," and, like, all this stuff, and they took the little time ticker, like, how many miles to Las Vegas, and it was, like, at the time, I was at, like, 200 miles, and it was down to, like, 40 or whatever,
Oh my
and
goodness.
my name I was, like, 10th on the list, and all of a sudden, I go, "Whoop," like that, and it was fun to see that from my phone and stuff while we had the cell reception, and, like, at that point, I was like, "It's on." I was running fast too. I was
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
like, 9-minute miles at that point. I'm like, let's get this." Like,
Yeah.
I felt like I had overcome so much and with the crew and, like, we kinda had that, again, like, renaissance moment of being like, this crazy thing, I never thought we were actually gonna get to the finish line, but it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna have to see another sunrise while running for this
Yeah.
Yeah.
race. Like, I'm gonna be done, and then when I wake up in the morning, like, I'm gonna be in a hotel, and, like, I can have a hot tub and jacuzzi and all this stuff, so, it was very motivating,
Yeah.
in that
Uh,
moment.
Did you cry
Um,
at all during
oh,
this race,
man.
ever? And
Yeah, I
especially at the
think,
end?
um, I don't know if I mean, I've definitely have cried before. I've definitely maybe shedded some tears, but, um, I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
I don't it was more maybe just like, the last bit of moisture from coming from the desert in my eyes just kinda, like, coming
Sure,
down, just being
that's
like,
we're
"Oh my
gonna call
That's
god."
it
what we're
that.
gonna call it.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to cry. I think that the emotions, the highs and the lows, are a lot, and with this type of race, with anything that's long, and having that emotional release is kinda like rebuilding the duff again, and
Yeah.
so, yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay.
I'm looking at your UTI score.
Okay. So on the experience side, which is all the fun stuff, you had a 7.2 out of 10.
Nice.
So, yeah, so
I'll take it.
that's where I'm gonna say, yeah, it's probably a race you would not mind participating in again, because it looks like the things that dragged it down was really just the weather.
The weather was bad. It was
And the
bad for
fact you
Uh,
didn't
everybody
have
too.
trail markings. Oh, wait, hold up. Backstreet Boys.
Uh-huh.
So, they figured out how to do this at the end of the race, so they were driving along like they were a mouse, you were a mouse, and they were holding cheese, and the cheese was Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, so, generally they were leapfrogging, right? So they would drive 3 to 6 miles ahead.
yeah.
There were times where, like, we got the RV the RV got stuck because I had an emergency bathroom break, and I called them and said, "Hey, I know you guys are 3 miles away," because I could see them on the tracker stuff, and I said, "I really gotta go, and I'm in the middle of the desert. Can you turn around, please?" And so they did. I used the bathroom. It was great. I was really happy that that happened, and then I set off, and then because of the pickle I put them in, they went to back up, and they got stuck into a sandbank, and just at that time, there was one car that was on the road and kinda waited for them, and kudos to the ladies, they all figured it out, put the got the one of the tires on a jack and was able to push the
Okay.
Class A RV, which is like a rock and roll band RV,
Yeah,
off the sandbank and back onto the road, and it only took them 5 minutes or under 10 minutes to figure it out. So, pretty impressive, and again, a 10 for the crew, they were amazing. I mean, they figured out so much and again, all I had to focus on was really just running, which is
that's good.
what you really truly want is
Yeah.
where I can just kind of take the lines that they're giving me and I can recite them and on my performance, and they're kind of doing all the pre-production, side of the performance, you know?
Right.
So, it was an acting job, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think I think especially as ultras become more competitive, I think you see it with, like, Tara Dower a lot, where she
Mhm.
says that she offloads like, she just is like, "My crew is my brain. All I do is just, like, take the signals that they give me, and I just do
Yeah.
it. That's all I do. Do what they tell me."
And as
And
a
I think
runner, it means a lot. You don't have to worry about your crew. You know they will figure
Yep,
things out, right? All you have to do is just
exactly.
get to the next meeting point.
Exactly. So it's a lot of you take the mental load off of your mind a little bit more, so
Yeah.
where you just
Yeah.
are more like react like you're just more instinctual and just focusing on that singular goal that you have. Um, it makes a huge difference. I was really, I mean, I worried about them and thought about them out there, but it was also one of those events where because they, generally in a couple miles I could see the RV in the distance because we're out in the desert. And so I'm like, okay, I'll get there. And I look at my watch, I'm like, okay, I got 2 more miles to go. Um, so it never really felt like there, but there was moments like when you're talking about the trail, I was on a trail called the Arrowhead Trail for like 80 miles um, in the night two, I believe. Or yeah, it was night two. Oh no, no, sorry. No, yeah, night two. Um, it's hard to break that part up, but, it was a section where the RV would drive to a meeting point maybe 10 miles down the way. I was running on an ATV trail up and down kinda like sandy mountains, we can
Mhm.
call
Mhm.
them. And then the highway is way in the distance, and you can see all the cars and the trucks, and you just hear the whirring of the trucks going by. So, like, I always knew if it got really bad, I could just make a sprint to the highway.
Yeah.
So, like, civilization was there in a sense, like, if it got really bad, rescue, you
Right.
could you can make it happen. But it was just kinda me out there kind of, like, figuring out these really complicated, like, markers on the trail, and I just realized, like, I was like and, I was, like, following paper instructions, so I had, like, screenshots of, like, "Make sure you go this far and then turn right." So I followed all that stuff, because the GPX was good, but it wasn't perfect.
Right.
Um, and so, like, I also cross-checked it with my bearings and all that stuff, and it worked out really well, honestly. So I kind of over-prepared, and it wasn't as bad as what I had expected, but it was really cool. You're just, like, out there, um, out on these sandy hills, like, way up real high up, the highways down below, and then I'd see my crew every, whatever, 8 or 10 miles, and then all of a sudden I'd come off the trail and be on a paved road, and all of a sudden they're at some, like, little, like, pull off.
Nice.
So, quite
Wow.
the experience.
I wanna do this.
Yeah.
Send me the information later. This is for me.
Sure.
This is
Yeah, it's really cool.
absolutely
It's really cool. I mean, there's also a pool party at the end of the whole thing, so once the relay team start on Friday, the solo runners start on Monday, right? So, the pool party is on a Sunday, and so the reason why I said 8 days is because you have Monday, and then, like, the late evening of Sunday is, like, you don't wanna miss the pool party.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So, that's kind of the motivation. Um, you could still keep going. Like, you could still finish after the pool party and, like, everyone's left and stuff, but, like, there's so much fun things that happen, on that Sunday evening that you really wanna be there for it,
Yeah.
and that's kind of a big part of, like, the entry fee. Some of it covers, like, this, like, almost like Hollywood style pool party. It's like something you see in the movies and stuff. And they rent out, like, a portion of this, like, big, huge, like, club, like, ocean club or whatever beach club, whatever they call it. Um, and it's quite the scene, and then, like, they have other, like, activities where there's, like they have, like, free tattoos at this one person gives speed project tattoos, and they have, like, they have this whole betting thing where they go and bet on some of the slot machines, and it's, like, because there's a sprint relay after after the pool party and stuff, and people do bets around that. It's really fun, like, it's super cool.
Did you run?
Unlike anything that I've ever done before, it's such a unique community, and, like, how they've created this event is, like, it's wild. It really is. It's incredibly entertaining.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This sounds like
Yeah.
it's for me.
Wow, this is nice. I mean, this is great having a race that you can't just go and sign up to, um, and something you can't just say, "Oh, we knew he ran that," because it's probably not an ultra sign up.
It's not. And
No.
that's that's why I picked it for the show is because you can't I mean, like, there's a few, like, it's like, I've had some posts about it, it's out there, and if you really do digging for it, but if you're just, like, looking at results, you're not gonna see it.
Right.
And that's and I think because it was such a unique experience, like, um, and one that really helped shape a lot of who I am today, like, that's why that's why we're talking about it because it was super it again, I've run a lot of ultras over the years, uh 50 or 60 ultras maybe,
Yeah,
and there's nothing like it.
that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that concept.
Yeah.
So, final score overall, combining your results and your cost and your experience is 0.654. So there's a number between 0 and 1, which puts you somewhere around the middle of what we normally see. So, yeah.
It was that cost
And
over there.
yeah, the cost obviously drag everything down because your performance and your travel time, your time efficiency was almost perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but only spending 4% of your cost on race fees.
Well, but that's and again, like, to that point of that event, like, to do it and do it right, like, you do it the cost comes on those extra things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, our hotel costs in Las Vegas were expensive because no other than Taylor Swift was also in Las Vegas, and that was a she just kind of, like, threw that out there to people, like, on social media. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be in Vegas, and we're just gonna do a show."
oh,
And, that drove up the hotel costs
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
immensely.
Yes.
Um So, yeah, if that I mean, it would be significantly less if that didn't happen. Sorry, Taylor Swift fans out there. Um, yeah, so it's definitely doable. And again, the entry fee is like, um, it helps them fund the pool party and, like, the activities afterwards, honestly.
Yeah,
They work with a lot of different partners. They have a whole, what they call the LALV grant system where like CLA and like other companies have helped contribute financially where like runners can apply for this grant and then get awarded funding and whatnot. They do a lot of it's really cool. They do a lot of really great things and um, what I've seen firsthand is like we have such a great community in the world of trail and ultra running.
yeah,
um, I had people that were incredibly generous that helped. I was like, "Hey, this is a big expense and we really gotta have it to be able to do this experience." And people stepped up and really helped contribute and made that and honestly, for me, I know when I was in my darkest moments, I thought about that, being like, "I'm also doing this for other people that believed in me too," and,
exactly.
parted with some of their hard-earned money to make this a reality, and so I really gotta see this through. And that was really great motivation.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, so thank you to the community out there for making it happen.
Awesome.
Wow.
How many people started at this race?
Yeah,
How
that
many?
was I gotta know that too.
Okay, so relay, I think today, currently, the relay teams, there's a lot of them. I think there's probably, maybe 80,
Wow.
70 or 80 relay teams.
Next to all the stripper bars,
Yeah,
all those people.
exactly. Yeah.
I could just imagine.
So
I mean, you're running past it and, you're looking at it going, you're judging people. What do you think they think of y'all?
Well, and they're doing it on a Friday. Mind you, I did it when it was, like, not peak season on a
Yeah.
Monday, right? They're doing it on Friday at 4 in the morning, so I'm sure that they saw plenty of stuff. Um, yeah, solo runners, when I did it, I think there was only maybe, like, 25 of us maybe,
Okay.
and now it's maybe grown to maybe 30 to 40, maybe even more than that. I don't know. I'll have to see, next month how many solo runners, but
Wow.
they continue to get growth and momentum each and every
Right.
year. Um, so yeah, it's been really exciting to see
So
it
over
grow.
100 runners from LA
Oh,
to
well, big time. Yeah, because
yeah.
you think of it, six runners per relay team,
Yeah.
minimum, and so that's 6 times,
So that's
70 or
480.
80,
Yeah.
and then you also have, just crew members. You can again, you can have as many media people as you want. So there's like, I mean, it can be, you can have a crew of 20 people if you wanted.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's
So,
actually some teams that actually will have like kind of like Ragnar run relay style where
Mhm.
yeah.
they have some runners in one van and then they'll like sleep and stuff and then like the other van will go and they'll like trade off. They'll do that kind of thing. Or they'll have crew and they do it that way. So like one crew van is out going, getting supplies and also resting while the other one is on with the runners and then they switch off and do that kind of thing. So there's again, it's very creative. A lot you can play around with all the different strategies, all this different stuff. Again, that's what makes it super unique is if you're a logistics person, you want to figure out how to optimize
Yeah.
the performance and like how to get from point A to point B and like, oh, we didn't realize there was a detour here. How do we course correct? Which that's also why I ran more miles too, is because the route that I was on, there was a big detour and I had to go 2 miles extra out of the way to cross over back down into the route. So and like so like things like that happen too.
Yeah.
There's only so much reconnaissance that you can do, especially when you live on the East Coast and the race is out in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. So yeah.
That is so interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna dig into find out
Yes.
how to get into it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure I won't be allowed to just be crew chief.
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Well,
Oh,
you can pace. I mean, again, you can split it up however you want. As long as as a solo runner, as long as the solo runner runs every single step, all 341 miles or the
no,
289 miles if you do your own route, you're
she's
good.
gonna drag me with her the whole way from the
Oh
start to
yeah,
the
there you
finish.
go. I love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for bringing this underground race to our attention.
Absolutely.